Okay, hi everyone and welcome to this yoga video. So I've got a new and improved setup today, so hopefully you can hear me better and you can see me better throughout the practice. So in that spirit, I'm taking full advantage of using the fuller frame. I'm going to do an inversion today. So we'll do shoulder stand. Of course this is an option, so if you'd rather not practice today for any reason, that's absolutely fine. So we are going to need a TheraBand today. If you haven't got one, then that's absolutely fine. You can use your own resistance within the practice and I'll give you a variation. We're going to be strengthening into the shoulder girdle to able to release stress and tension in the long run. So I hope you enjoy this practice. So I'd like you to start in constructive rest pose. I'm going to take the feet mat distance apart. So just coming to lie down onto your back. Allow the knees to drop towards one another, the palms facing up. And getting that sense that the shoulder blades can draw down towards the hips, the backs of the hands becoming heavy, and the sense of that grounding at the base of the pelvis. So I want you to really notice the spine against the ground, the way the breath moves through the body, and then that natural curvature within the spine. So you'll probably notice a bit more length coming to either side of the lumbar within this pose. So we're going to begin to deepen and extend the inhalation as well as the exhalation. On your inhale, beginning to use the diaphragm to draw the air down into the depth of the stomach, and exhaling to release the navel back towards the spine. Just continuing this breath, beginning to grow the breath. And then envisioning the breath coming into the back of the body. So we often associate the breath just with the front of the body. So you can create a bit more space within the vertebrae of the spine with the breath. And beginning to grow the breath up into the rib cage. Growing the breath up in between the shoulder blades. And so you can grow the breath all the way up into the cervical spine of the neck. So on the inhale, we're just going to begin to reach the arms up and then draw the arms overhead. Exhale, coming to bring the palms back and then down against the ground. Continuing breath to movement, feeling how the shoulder blades move on the back, how the scapula starts to separate. So inhaling, coming to lift the arms up, this time keeping the hands up towards the ceiling. Try and draw the shoulder blades to wrap around towards each other. I'm going to grab hold of opposite elbows now, opposite shoulders, sorry, so the elbows come together. Inhale to lift the elbows up, exhaling, drawing them down. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling down, inhaling to lift up, and exhaling down. So just coming to reach and extend the arms, and we'll cross the opposite way. Inhaling to lift, exhale, inhaling to lift, exhaling, sliding down. Inhaling up. This time releasing the arms. You're going to bring the legs up into tabletop position. So the shins are parallel to the ground. This time on your inhale, come to reach and extend the arms either side of the leg as you reach through the chest. Press out through your heels, activate into the arches of the feet. Exhaling down, arms back overhead. Inhale to lift. Exhaling down. Inhale to lift up. Exhaling down. Once more, inhale to lift. And exhaling down. I'm just coming to hug the shins in towards the chest. Just taking those nice circles as you rock from side to side. I'm going to come to extend the leg up towards the ceiling now. So on your inhale, I'm going to reach the arms up. So try and just draw the the ankle so it's directly over the knee and the knee directly over the hip. Press out through the feet. Inhale to extend the arms so they're directly above your shoulder sockets. Start to draw the scapula together on the back. Deep breath. Long exhale. Inhaling. Exhale to reach up either side of the legs. Bringing the arms back up towards the feet. And then taking them over to the left hand side. Inhaling to the centre and over to the right. Inhaling up, over to the left. Inhaling up, over to the right. Inhale to come to touch the toes, if you can. And exhaling back down. So just coming to hug the shins in towards the chest. And then we'll roll up and down on the spine. And then coming up to that seated position. So you might want to sit onto the heels, you might want to take your cross-legged, maybe staggering one heel in front of the other. So just beginning by taking the hands onto the backs of the knees. Inhale to squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale to release. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Great. I'm going to drop the left ear to the shoulder, roll the chin to the chest, over to the right, and coming back over to the left. This time releasing the left palm down, inhale to reach and extend up and over with the right fingertips. So that's bringing the gaze up and then rolling the gaze down, inhaling up. Exhaling down. So just continuing the breath to the movement. Keep that lift and openness into the top corner of the chest. And bringing the gaze to the centre. So we'll come over to the other side. Reaching up and over with the palm. I'm going to feel that spiral of the top ribs. So they're stacking over the bottom ribs. Energized through the top fingertips. And then bringing the gaze back to the center as you lift yourself up. Just coming to squeeze the fingertips together behind the back. Inhale to lift through the heart. And exhaling to release. Okay, so we're going to come over into all fours. Pressing down through the tops of the feet. Just trying to connect all 10 toenails. Spread the fingertips wide so you feel nice and even in your stance here. And then begin to lift up and out through your shoulder blades. So you're creating that flat back here. So I'm just going to warm up through the shoulders with this little bit of load, so your body weight is the load. Beginning by squeezing the shoulder blades up towards your ears, and then bringing the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, keeping them drawn towards each other, pinching as you roll the shoulder blades down the back. And then coming to a protract, so you're creating that space between the shoulder blades as you press into the palms. So they feel like they're wrapping around towards the front of the body, that flexion within the spine, and then coming back to draw the shoulders up to the ears, whilst keeping that wrapping of the shoulder blades around. And then back to the centre. So once again, inhale, shoulders up to the ears, and then tucking the wings of the shoulder blades towards each other, drawing them down the back, keeping the shoulder blades tucked. Exhale to press away, rounding between the shoulder blades, and then drawing them back up towards the ears, and then back to the centre. So we're going to come to take two more the opposite way. So beginning by drawing the shoulder blades down and rounding, then drawing them up to the ears, keeping that rounding, and then coming to protract, tucking the shoulder blades towards each other, exhaling down. Inhaling, pressing away, shoulder blades down, towards the ears, and then coming to tuck the wings of the shoulders towards each other, exhaling down, and then coming back to the centre to release. Great. So we'll just take a couple of cat and cows now. Try and engage into the abdominals as you take these. Feeling the movement through all of the vertebrae of the spine. As you tuck the chin towards the chest, feel like the hands are pressing towards the front of the room energetically, and then coming to lift on the inhalation, feel as if the hands are dragging towards the back of the room. Great, then coming back to the centre. So this is a point where you, if you've got your TheraBand, just coming to use the TheraBand. So you're going to take it along the mat so that you can place your left hand down onto the TheraBand. You want a little bit of slack in between the hands when you come back into your tabletop position. So I'll start off by showing you on the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab hold of the TheraBand with the left hand, keep that lift and length, then coming to bend the elbow as you start to draw the TheraBand up, and then maybe coming to stretch it all the way out, coming back to that bent elbow and twisting back. So you can see my ribcage spiralling with that movement. Inhaling up, all the way up as you extend the arm, exhale to rebend and coming back down. Inhaling up, extending, exhaling back down. So of course you can take this movement without the TheraBand, your hand onto the back of the head as you lift up and then exhale to bring the elbows towards one another. So either one of those movements, just taking a couple more on that side. And then coming to rest for a moment. So we'll come back into a child's pose. Keep the hands extended so the elbows lift away and the crown reaches forward as the forehead comes down to the ground. Start to feel the lift of your armpits up and away from the ears, sink the sit bones down to the heels. And then on your inhale, gradually making your way back And we'll come into tabletop once again. So this time we're going to take it on the other side. So remember either one of those variations if you don't have your TheraBand. Inhale to lift, all the way up, exhaling down. So just going to continue and take about 5 more like this. Inhale to reach, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Great, we'll take one more. And exhaling, just coming to release the band for now. We'll come to sit back onto the heels in our extended child's. Inhale to bring the gaze forward, bring your forearms down. And you're going to snake the torso low down to the ground, making our way up into Sphinx pose. So the forearms come directly beneath your, the elbows come directly underneath your shoulders. So you're just going to check in their shoulder distance apart. Press into the forearms, reach the sternum forward, glide the shoulder blades down the back, and then press and lengthen into the tops of the feet. So the knees are hugging and lifting away from the mat. Inhale to lift the gaze. Exhaling to bring the gaze towards the navel. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Inhaling up. And then coming back to the centre. Slide the palms underneath the shoulders. Keep the elbows hugged into the waist. I'm going to lift up through the knees. Maybe coming to press through reverse plank. And then up into your downward facing dog. So just receiving the feedback and beginning to make some movements according to that feedback in your body. Great, nice deep breath. And then come to bring the chest forward. I'm going to lower the knees down, tops of the feet away. So this is a good strengthening exercise we're going to do here for the shoulders. I'm going to come down onto the left forearm, elbow down, right forearm down. Inhale, left palm back, and the right palm. So just going to take that a few more times. So something that you might have seen quite a lot in sort of football drills and stuff like that. Also good for your core. Come back to the centre and we'll come to the other side first. And back to the centre, making your way into child's pose. Inhale to bring the gaze forward, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And slowly walking the feet all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, reach and extend the arms all the way up, lifting the gaze. Bring the palms together, draw the heart space up. Exhale, bring the palms down. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale to grow the palms up. Lift the gaze through, lift also through the heart. Exhale to fully fold. Inhaling to flat back. Exhaling, plant the palms. We'll step back with the right foot. Make our way into a low lunge, reach through the chest. Then coming to bring the arms back behind, interlace the fingertips, squeeze the shoulder blades as you lift up through the heart. Send the tailbone down. Replant the palms. Step back into plank. Inhale to shift the weight forward. Taking the knees down, pick up through the toes. Long line as you brace through the abdominals, slowly lower. Inhaling to flat, small cobra. Exhaling, making your way back into child's pose. Inhale to come up onto your shins and walk the palms forward. And come down into Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze coming forward, taking the palms back beneath the shoulders. Retuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the gaze forward. Right foot's going to step between the palms. Lift through the gaze as you sink into the left hip. Retuck the toes. Coming to forward fold, we're going to take the feet hip distance apart now. And just grabbing hold of opposite elbows to rock from side to side. Inhaling to lift up to flat back. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, reach and extend the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms down. Inhale to lift the palms up. Exhale, press the palms away to fold. Inhale, step the left foot back into low lunge. So circling the palms behind, come to interlace the fingers with the opposite thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up. Deep breaths. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back into plank. Shift the weight forward, take the knees down, pick up through the toes, that long line through the thigh into the waist. Slowly lower. Inhale, small cobra. Exhaling, pick up the toes as you come back into child's pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the gaze forward. I'm going to come into tabletop. Inhale to reach the right arm up. Exhaling to thread the needle. So you might take the left hand over towards your right hip crease, spiraling over through the chest, connection with the tops of the feet. Inhaling to place the palm down, lift up and out through the right arm. Exhaling, palm down. Inhaling, left arm up. Exhaling, thread the needle on this side. So either keeping that right palm there or threading it round the back. Press into the top of the left hand to keep guiding the chest to open. Releasing the right palm down, pressing into the palm, inhaling left arm up. Exhaling, palm down. Retuck the toes, make your way up into downward dog. Deep breath in. Full exhale. Inhaling. Exhale up onto the tiptoes. I'm going to release the knees down once again. I'm going to come into a dolphin pose. So if you bring the forearms down to the ground, checking that the elbows are shoulder distance apart with the index finger and thumb. Place the palms down. Make sure you've got that firm foundation, so you can always interlace the fingertips here. Retuck the toes and make your way up into dolphin. You might just step the feet slightly further forward than in downward dog. Lift up and out through your sit bones, and then make sure that there's space for your head to move from side to side as you press into the forearms to get that lift and lengthen of your rib cage up towards the sit bones. Nice full breath in. Long exhale, so you can always come to rest in child's pose. We're going to take a couple more breaths. And then exhale, coming back into child's pose. Perhaps flipping your palms to feel a bit more space around the shoulders and the neck. Rolling the forehead from side to side. Okay, so we're going to come back into dolphin pose again. So placing the forearms down. This time we're going to interlace the fingertips. So just making sure we've got that solid sort of tripod foundation. And then come to tuck the toes. Once again, just checking in with your stance, maybe walking the feet slightly closer. Lifting up and out through the sit bones. And just beginning to bring a sense of broadness into the upper back. So feeling the armpits wrapping around towards the front of the body, lifting the hips high, feeling the heels working their way down towards the ground, but make sure you've got a micro bend there if the hamstrings are really giving you a lot of pain or tightness, or back to the knees, for example. One more breath, and then making your way back onto the knees. Come to rest down in child's once again. Perhaps flipping the palms or taking the hands back towards the heels and just rolling the forehead from one side to the other. Great, then slowly coming to make your way back up onto your heels. So I'm going to take the legs straight out in front. So we're going to come into a shoulder stand. We'll do a bridged prep first, etc. If you would rather not practice shoulder stand today, you can always take your legs up the wall, or you can remain in a bridge pose, so choice is up to you. If you've got a blanket handy and you know you like to practice with a blanket or an extra mat on top, then just make sure you've got ample sort of padding to come behind the shoulders. Great, so we're just going to come to take a nice slow, steady roll down and brace the core. And then once arriving, I'm just going to slide the shoulder blades down the back. And just make sure the sacrum feels nice and comfortable on the ground. Bring your heels towards your hips. So you want them hip distance apart. We're going to keep the knees directly on top of the heels. So on the inhale, slowly begin to roll up through the vertebrae of the spine, pressing the stomach up towards the ceiling. Maybe coming to interlace the fingertips behind the back. Notice if the weight starts to shift on the feet. So I notice that a bit more weight starts to come into the outer edges of the feet here for myself. Just try and keep that engagement of the inner thighs pressing towards one another. So take another full breath in here. And then on the exhale, come to release the palms, slowly roll back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And take a moment for the spine to come back into its natural curve. And then coming to hug the shins into the chest. And perhaps circling out through the knees. So come back to the centre and just prepping for shoulder stand. So you're just going to make sure that the lower back is nice and long, placing the palms either side. Come to lift the legs up towards the ceiling. So of course options to stay here or come to legs against the wall. And then I'm going to take the feet back, lift up through the legs, place the palms to connect towards the lower back. So the heel of the hands are towards the bottom of the rib cage. The fingertips are coming to support towards the sacrum. If you need to make any adjustments, then just bring the knees towards the ears. Maybe checking in with the width of your shoulders and the elbows before coming to lift back up. So I'm just going to hold here for a few breaths. Allow that reset to come into the shoulders, the blood flow to be reversed, so really stimulating through the thyroid gland, allowing a fresh supply of oxygen to the brain, and also helping to release tension within the shoulders. Okay, so now the choice is up to you. You can either come down one leg at a time through bridge pose, or you can bring the feet 45 degrees over the head, release the palms and slowly lower down. I'm going to come through bridge pose. So I'm going to carry on supporting my back, allow one leg to come down and then the other. And then slowly come to release yourself all the way back down. And just softening here for a moment. So I'm going to just close the eyes and notice how the body's feeling, how the heart is feeling. So I find with inversions that the heart rate can go up quite significantly. And then coming to hug the shins into the chest. Great, so we're going to get set up for Matsyasana, fish pose, bringing the feet together, point out through the toes, and then hide the arms underneath the body. So your palms are going to place down towards the ground. On your inhale, bring your gaze up towards your toes, press into the forearms as you bend the elbows, and then begin to bring the crown of the head towards the back of the mat. So if the head stays lifted, that's absolutely fine. Just keep that openness around the heart. One more breath in here. Press and lift around the clavicles, and then bring the gaze back towards the toes. Slowly come to lower yourself back down to the ground and remove the arms away from beneath the body. So we'll finish up on a twist. I like to do one leg over the other. You can bring both knees over to one side if you prefer. I'm going to start off with my right leg, squeezing the shin into the chest, and then taking the right arm out to cactus arm, using the left hand to guide the knee over to that side. Bringing the gaze over towards that right hand. So more importantly, that this right shoulder blade stays down onto the ground more than the knee coming down to the ground. So not sort of forcing the twist, but just allowing the twist to gradually come into the body. Inhaling back to the centre. Stretching that leg out long before coming to switch sides. Inhaling back to the centre. And then we're just going to come into that constructive rest pose to finish. Placing the palms perhaps onto the belly. Allow the back of the neck to be long. Shoulder blades rolling away from the ears. And just feeling that softening. That moment of clarity. Allowing the body to feel supported by the ground beneath in your safe space. Where breathing is no longer a conscious effort. Allow everything to soften. So I invite you, if you have a bit more time, just to stay here and reconnect with the self, and perhaps move on to a bit more of a meditation state. If you don't have the time right now, we're just going to begin to start to bring some movements back into the hands, into the toes. Maybe taking the head from one side to the other. And then bringing the knees towards the chest, squeezing the shins for a moment. Before rolling over onto your chosen side in your fetal position. And gently lifting yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture. And we'll just take the back hands to rest onto the tops of the knees. Connecting the index finger and the thumb. Just feeling the ground at the base of the body, then lengthen up through the crown of the head. Just want to bring the palms to connect. May we stay connected within balance in ourselves, and able to spread peace and empathy into each corner of our life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much for joining me with this practice. So if you like this video today, I've got more on my YouTube channel. And you can always follow me on Facebook to keep up to date with my events and latest news, and my blog. Namaste.